pit bull data from a variety of sources present a very varied picture of this often demonized canine. One of the most misunderstanding canine breeds is the pit bull. Although they are one of the softest and more affectionate breeds, these big-hearted dogs have a reputation for being fearsome. Any dog has the potential to bite someone. However, pit bull-like dogs are frequently classified as aggressive dogs because of animal assaults. In actuality, pit bulls are less likely to be engaged in biting occurrences than smaller dogs. These bites, however, do not necessitate medical attention, thus they go unnoticed. According to a University of Pennsylvania research, 20% of dachshunds have bitten an uninvited guest. The vast majority of the study's 6,000 participants stated they thought their tiny dogs had issues with aggressive behavior. This video gives you 30 statistics to provide you with a clearer picture of these misunderstood dogs. 1. Only 43.5% of the DNA in pit bulls came from pit bull ancestors. The majority of dogs are mistakenly labeled as pit bulls due to crossbreeding. Many contemporary canines that resemble pit bulls are generic mixed breeds, having less than a 50% genetic match with real pit bulls. One of the most frequently mistaken breeds is still the pit bull. 2. In the US, there are almost 18 million dogs that resemble pit bulls and their hybrids. Pit bulls make up 6% of all canines in the US, despite their bad image. Additionally, there are approximately 18 million pit bull mix canines living in the US, many of whom are security dogs or service dogs. 3. Every year, almost 1 million pit bulls are put to death. Approximately 40% of all dogs put to death each year in shelters are pit bull-type dogs. Additionally, due to the fact that many people do not wish to rehome these animals, up to 1 million pit bulls are killed annually. This indicates that 2,800 pit bulls are put to death per day, mostly as a result of false information about the breed. 4. Pit bulls are the world's most abused dog breeds. Pit bulls are frequently used as guard dogs by their owners. Owners starve their pit bulls of affection and intentionally mistreat them to incite aggressive behavior. The widespread misconception that pit bulls are aggressive canines is also a result of the degree of their mistreatment. 5. Pit bulls are frequently employed in dogfights. Pit bull-type dogs are powerful animals that can turn hostile if mistreated or enraged. They are therefore the kind of dog that fighting rings use the most. Despite being forbidden in all 50 states, dogfighting nevertheless takes place clandestinely. Because of this, many pit bulls are mistreated, starved, beaten, and even mutilated in order to make them vicious before a battle. 6. Pit bulls were advertised for sale 7.9% of the time in 2019. Pit bulls have a serious issue with backyard breeding, which is why in 2019, 7.9% of all dogs advertised in the US were pit bulls. This is an indication of the bigger issue in the US and translates to more than 1.3 million pit bulls. 7. 51 pit bulls were rescued from Michael Vick's kennels. When Michael Vick was detained for operating a dogfighting ring, he was an NFL superstar who had just agreed to a 10-year, $130 million contract with the Atlanta Falcons. On his property, 51 pit bulls that had been mistreated and abused were discovered. Vick received a 19-month prison term in addition to a lengthy dog ownership prohibition. Only one of the dogs had to be put to sleep, and the other 48 were saved, treated, and placed in new homes while 2 others passed away from their wounds. 8. Pit bulls stay in shelters 3 times longer than other dogs, on average. Pit bulls spend 3 times as much time in shelters as any other breed because of a variety of issues. They spend a lot of time in shelter, thanks to 3 main considerations. A. Many landlords specifically forbid pit bulls in their property. B. Due of their look, many other canine breeds are incorrectly classified as pit bulls. C. People are wary of adopting pit bulls because of their reputation. 9. Pit bulldogs take up 9.32% of all dogs available for adoption in shelters. They frequently return to the shelter system due to backyard breeding and the basic love-hate connection that American families have with pit bull-type dogs. Breed-specific legislation also plays a large factor in the number of pit bulls left behind in shelters. 10. Pit bulls make for about 6% of all dogs in U.S. shelters. Despite being housed in shelters in large numbers, pit bulls only make up 6% of all shelter dogs in the U.S. Every new wave of unfavorable media attention also results in an increase in the number of dogs turned over to shelters due to backyard breeding and big litter sizes. According to data on Pitbulls, 25% of Americans are afraid of them and 50% of families with young children would not contemplate taking one in. 11. Pitbull breeds are incorrectly labeled at animal shelters 75% of the time. Animals are frequently hastily labeled when they arrive at a shelter. Breed identification is frequently dependent on outward appearance, however, because of widespread crossbreeding, up to 75% of canines are wrongly classified as pitbulls. The term pitbull has a vague definition and is easily susceptible to individual interpretation because it is not actually regarded a breed but rather a grouping of numerous breeds. 12. A 64% increase in adoption after identification tags were removed. Researchers found that pitbulls were 64% more likely to be adopted if their breed identification markings were removed after studying 17,000 adoptions. When labels were removed from the equation, the study also revealed that other dog breeds were likewise more likely to be adopted. 13. Pitbull adoption rates fell by 31% between 2000 and 2011. People were less inclined to want to give a pitbull a home as bad headlines surrounded them. The pitbull, long referred to as America's dog, evolved into one of the most despised dogs during the course of 11 years, from 2000 to 2011. 14. In the USA, 60% of pitbull-related deaths were between 1979 and 1998. Between 1979 and 1998, pitbulls and Rottweilers were responsible for 60% of human deaths from dog bites. These figures on pitbull aggression, however, only represented a small part of dog bite injuries, casting a negative light on the breed. 15. According to the National Canine Research Council and the AAHA, pitbulls are second on the list of biting dogs. According to research, pitbulls are to blame for 22.5% of dog bites. Following purebred dogs, 21.2% of fatal dog attacks included dogs of mixed breeds. The cause of dog bites is frequently some sort of provocation. Therefore, it is not surprising that there are a great number of abuse and baiting behaviors given the high occurrence of both. However, these statistics do not include all of the incidents that do not get reported. 16. Between 1981 and 1992, 26% of deaths were caused by pit bull bites. From the 1980s through the early 1990s, about a third of all fatal dog attacks were attributed to pit bulls. The investigation also revealed that there were 25 distinct breeds in total that carried out fatal assaults on people over those years. Due to these numbers, the pit bull developed a poor reputation. Nonetheless, the number of injuries brought on by dog bites significantly than the number of fatalities. 17. 36 Americans were killed by pit bulls in 2018. According to studies, 72% of fatal dog attacks on people in the U.S. in 2018 were pit bulls. Furthermore, family members rather than outsiders were engaged in 69% of those fatal and disfiguring attacks. 18. From 2005 to 2019, 346 Americans were reportedly killed by pit bulls. Pit bulls were to blame for 66% of fatalities brought on by dog attacks in America between 2005 and 2019, a period of 15 years. 19. Between 2016 and 2020, pit bulls were linked to fatal dog attacks. While statistics on pit bulls indicate that pit bull attacks between 2016 and 2020 resulted in fatalities for humans, the study also came to the conclusion that dog attacks are not a breed-specific issue. As a direct effect of their surroundings, pit bulls and other canines are more prone to attack based on their behavior. 20. Pit bulls were involved in the most dog bites between 2013 and 2021 in 20 states. Nearly half of all dog bite injuries in certain states are caused by pit bulls. Pit bull bite incidences were shown to be 213% more likely than those involving other breeds to be severe, according to research done in Harris County, Texas. 21. Pit bulls were involved in 2/3 of dog bite-related injuries treated in a Philadelphia hospital. According to a 2009 study that looked at 5 years' worth of dog bite cases involving kids, pit bulls, 51%, and Rottweilers, 9% additional, accounted for nearly 2/3 of all dog bites. 22. 25% of Americans have negative views on pit bulls. Pit bulls are the 19th most popular dog breed in America, despite statistics showing that up to 50% of people are frightened of the breed and that at least a quarter of Americans have negative opinions about them. The pit bull is painted with a brush that speaks more about breed ownership features than dog characteristics because it was bred for bear and bull baiting as well as other aggressive hobbies. 23. According to a 2016 survey, Pitbulls received the worst ratings across the board. Pitbulls scored the lowest in terms of friendliness, intelligence, and adaptability, according to a small survey of 49 college students in California. The small niche test group's results, however, were also based on photographs. 24. Pitbulls have actually involved in fewer human attacks than other breeds. Some will argue that the introduction of breed-specific legislation is responsible for the drop in the number of pitbull attacks on humans. The truth is that since 1998, no nationwide system has been used to track dog breed-specific bite incidents. 25. Between 1965 to 1975, there was only one pitbull reported attack. The pitbull was once America's dog. From 1965 through 1975, pitbull owners were common, and attacks were scarce. However, demonizing the breed began with the crackdown on dog fights and the hive mentality that any dog that looked mean was automatically a pitbull. 26. Pitbulls do better than 85% on temperament tests, proving they are not as vicious as people might think. Pit bulls are in the top 23% of dogs with the best temperament, according to studies by the American Temperament Test Society, ATTS. The test comprised 3 different pit bull breeds, and they all received an average rating of 87.9%. Scored at 87.4% were American Pit Bull Terriers. Score of 85.5% for American Staffordshire Terrier. Score of 90.9% for Staffordshire Bull Terrier. 27. According to the National Canine Research Council, pit bulls do not pose a serious threat to humans. Pit bull assaults do occur, there is no doubt about that, but all dogs do bite. Pit bull statistics, sadly, are frequently overrepresented in the media. In just 4 days in August 2007, there were 4 dog bite incidences. The others involved various breeds, while one involved a pit bull. There was only one local newspaper that covered the 3 attacks that did not include a pit bull. 230 different national and international news organizations covered the pit bull bite in some way. 28. Pit bulls are one of the best dogs with small children. The Staffordshire Bull Terrier and the American Pit Bull Terrier are 2 of the best dog breeds for families. 29. Pit bulls were originally bred in the United Kingdom and came to America with the British. 30. The American Pit Bull Terrier is not recognized as a breed by the American Kennel Club. Conclusion. Pit bull assault statistics cast a negative perspective on this loving canine. However, statistics hardly ever provide a whole picture and are frequently misrepresented in the media. People have bred dogs for temperament rather than appearance for ages. Dogs have a practical use. The pit bull developed a reputation as an aggressive animal not because that is how it is by nature, but rather because people chose to promote that image for the breed. There is no getting around the fact that pit bulls bite occasionally. But so do other dogs. Pit bull misconceptions abound and won't stop unless more is done to save this noble breed. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for notifications of new videos and help our channel grow. Thank you.